Hi everyone, welcome for this new episode of the ESO News. We are the 10 April 2016 and we are celebrating the 2 years anniversary of the Elder Scrolls Online. In this episode I'm going to talk about the anniversary, a little recap about what happened during those 2 years, but also the event that has been put in place to celebrate the second anniversary of the Elder Scrolls Online, and then various news. 2 years already, that's quite some times, and if you think about it, there's so many things that have changed the game drastically during those 2 years. So let's have a short recap to remember all of this. First, the release of the Elder Scrolls Online was quite smooth when you compare it to other MMORPG. But it was not without problem. One of those problems were the bots. You remember those 20 guys farming a boss in a delve and a normal player had zero chance to ever kill the boss? It was pretty irritating, but when you see the screenshot today, it's quite fun. The first update was Craglorn with the trial, so lower Craglorn, the Elloa Citadel and Arterian Archive. The level cap had been increased from 10 to veteran 12. You had the death recap, it was not there before, and the change for the dungeon chests. You remember before there were plenty of chests in every dungeon and people were fighting for them because it was personal loot. And the behavior of some people were so bad that Zenimax had to change it to put only 2 random chests in each dungeon that give the loot for the 4 members. The second update, Crypt of Heart Veteran. That's when Crypt of Heart Veteran was the hardest thing in the game you could ever do. You had also the improved lighting patch and light jerkins. Yes, because before, if you wanted light armor, you could only have a dress. In the update 3, you had the armor dice, the guild feeder, which the Tabar and the guild merchant, instant weapon swap. Yes, before weapon swap was a nightmare. New delves in Cold Harbor. That's the effort that Zenimax had been through to remake all delves. They started with Cold Harbor and they have done a really good job with that. And you also had the hard mode trials that were implemented. Then we have update 4 that bring Upper Craglorn, Sanctum of Phidia, the Dragon Star Arena, and larger delves in several zones. And the level cap was increased from veteran 12 to veteran 14. Update 5 was a really great update, probably one of my favorites. Veteran City of Ash, the facial animation, the dungeon scaling and the Undaunted Pledge. And that's what I really loved in the game, because before that, once you were level 30, it was completely pointless for you to do Fungal Grotto. But with this patch, the dungeon were scaling to the group leader, and so if you wanted to do Fungal Grotto again, you could do it. And that's when you had a lot more activity because you could choose from a lot of different dungeons, and it was very fun. The crafting rites, the Dwemer motif, which is the first collectible motif that you can find, the chat bubble for role players, and the set Twice Born Star. Then we come to update 6, and update 6 is the more controversial update, as it really has made so much deep change. Some players love it, some players hate it. First of all, the champion system that created so many issues, and with the champion system came the whole rebalance of the game, removing the soft cap, for instance, changing some feeder, changing the buffs, etc. It was really a big thing. You also had the justice system that will be reused now in the Thieves Guild. Beside that, you had an animation update which made the combat a lot more reactive, and that I can say it was a huge improvement. Provisioning revamp, collection system, and updated tutorial. That was a preparation for what's coming next. The ESO Tamriel Unlimited, the business model change. So from a subscription game, the Elder Scrolls Online became a buy-to-play game where you buy the game and after you choose if you want subscription or not. And the introduction of the Crown Store. After that we didn't had any more update for a long while because it was console release, and that was another big thing. The game finally available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Some players has been waiting more than 1 year for that. Once the console release was done, we started to have some DLC. We started with Imperial City that bring the White Gold Tower and the prison, the Tulvarsto system, the Imperial City itself with the sewer. After that we had Orsinium with the new zone, Rodgar, the Maelstrom Arena, Ancient Orc motif, a cavalry mercenary motif, shield dying, control support, subtitle, and the first part of the group tool change in preparation of what happened now, where you could group up with people via the group tool and scale up to Veteran 16 and meet people from other factions as well. And of course, you finish with the Thief's Guild. That's 2 years of summary, so quite some stuff. If you want to see a recap of what happened to me during those 2 years, you're very welcome to check my best of on my channel. To celebrate the 2nd anniversary, Zenimax have organized a little quest that everyone can do. I remind you that last year Zenimax did nothing to celebrate the 1st anniversary beside a nice blog post, but this time they did this event and it was really cool. The quest is quite simple. You just had to speak with Chef Donolon, which is a new NPC that you can find in the first city of each alliance. You do the quest and you receive a cake as a memento. This cake during the week of the anniversary, you can use it. It gives you 100% buff that you can share with your friends once the week is done. So at this day the buff is over, but you keep the cake as a memento and you can still use it because it's pretty, it's fun. This week was very special and a lot of people came back in the game to enjoy the benefits of the cake. It happened to my guild. A lot of old members that were stopping to play the Elder Scrolls Online just came especially for that. We organized several events in dungeon and such where we were popping our cake and having fun with them, as you can see in the screenshot. But it also happened some bad behavior from people. I've seen in the forum several discussions about people raging at other players because they were ruining their grinding spots and were grinding the wrong way. Do you even grind, bro? That was quite unexpected and funny to see those people becoming elitist regarding how you do a proper grind and in which order you have to kill the mobs. While everyone played the game how they want, and if people want to grind the wrong way, they grind the wrong way. Just try to respect each other, that's all. Come on, guys. Since the 31 March, you can purchase in the Krone store for 5,000 Krone one of the 2 assistants that are proposed, Nuzime the merchant or Titis and Dromo the banker. So let me explain what those assistants are doing because it has caused some problem to some person. You can use it wherever you want except Cyrodiil and Imperial City. So it can be in a dungeon or in the normal world. Other players can interact with them. The merchant is just allowing you to sell stuff. It doesn't repair anything. And the banker just gives you access to your personal bank. So if your friend uses the banker, it will give access to his bank, not yours, obviously. But you do not have access to your guild bank or to the guild store. The tooltip is not very clearly said, it's just saying what it does. It doesn't precise what it does not. And a lot of players have purchased the merchant because they thought it will repair their gear. It does not do that. So be careful to what you do if you want to purchase them. Now on the forum we had a lot of discussion regarding those merchants. Some people find the price extremely high, which is true, 2 Imperial City for 1 merchant. And some players find the cost way too high in comparison to what the merchant can do. There's so many discussion regarding those merchants, with people not happy about the price, people saying this pay to win, whatever. But this is my opinion regarding the merchant. I do not mind the merchant to cost 5,000 Krone. It is not something anyone needs. it is not something so much interesting either. I mean, okay, it avoids you to go back to the city, but that's about it. You will not win the game, you will not be a lot more powerful because you do that. Remember, it doesn't repair your gear, you do not access your guild bank. It's just a convenience for the people that want to support the game, or have a lot of money and don't know what to do with it. That's it. I don't think it's a bad thing that the Elder Scrolls Online put in the Crown Store some very expensive features that are not needed for anyone, for the players that really want to invest money in the game, or that think that this merchant, this banker will really provide them a lot of convenience. I prefer to have very expensive merchant, very expensive mount in the Crown Store and having quite cheap DLC. And now I'm going to share with you different various news. Most of those news had been shared during the last ESO live that happened 2 weeks ago. First of all, the Cyrodiil performance, the developer are still working on it very hard. They have already implemented several changes that should slightly make the situation better, but they're currently working on a big change. The change is about how they list abilities and effects and stuff like that. That should solve a lot of the current issue. Regarding the FPS problem, it's the same thing. They have already implemented some small patch that should improve the situation, but they are still investigating to find the source of the problem and to solve it. The charge abilities that are currently not working, especially on uneven terrain, so like on a slope, will be fixed once they have found what's causing the issue. They are also very happy with Radiant Destruction. It's an execute, it does hurt, deal with it. They are thinking about different solutions regarding the threats that you can find on the armor sold the PvP vendor in Cyrodiil. So they're considering to make a defensive threat for old armor sold with Alliance Point, and to give an infused threat for old armor sold with gold. Richember explained why the Thieves Guild had been such a buggy release. It's of course not because of the Thieves Guild itself, the new zone, the new trial and all those new features, but about the two big technical changes that has been implemented, which is the DirectX 11 and the 64 client. This change had been implemented in the game in provision of future and more modern features that they can develop in the future, but also to increase the performance. Unfortunately, this was maybe too much at once and it caused a lot of trouble. Hopefully everything will be solved very soon. Microsoft has announced recently that they will allow cross-platform games, so which will lead, in theory, the possibility to the Elder Scrolls Online to be cross-platform between Xbox, PlayStation and PC and Mac. Will Zenimax do it? Rich Lambert explained that they will be very excited to do it, but it might be not as easy as it can seem. The stamina build will be buffed very soon, and one of the changes you can expect are changes to certain abilities to do more AoE damage. For instance, Reverse Slice will be buffed and will work on group. It will be a AoE execute. Considering a weapon skill line in future, this is possible, but not before the balance between the class that are implemented in the game right now will be better. So they are first working on that before to consider a weapon skill line, weapon ultimates, racial ultimate or spellcrafting. The group tool is finally fixed. That's really great. So what was the problem before? You were making a pre-made group with different friends from various levels, maybe from various factions. You were queuing in the dungeon tool and you were supposed to find an instance immediately because your group was ready and complete, right? But people had to wait for 20 to 30 minutes. But Zenimax have fixed that problem and now it works wonder. You will not have to wait more than 1 or 2 minutes with your group, so the queue it's not instant exactly, but we can consider that it's the time the game battle level or character, whatever. It works, and it works also with 2 or 3 players. Let's see what the Crown Sower had to propose us this month of April. First of all, at the moment you see this video, you cannot purchase it anymore, I'm sorry. It's the Elven Hero Armor, like the North Hero Armor. It has been sold for a limited time, so between the 7th April and the 11th April, you could have purchased this beautiful armor for 2,500 kron. But do not worry, there is more stuff in the Crown store that you can purchase if you want. First of all, right now you can purchase the Moonlight Senshi Tiger that is available starting the 7th April. And then you have beautiful Bosmer costume like the Dew and Skin and Chamois Wood wear, or the Grad Climbers active wear. You will also have a limited mount that will be sold from the 21 April to the 25 April. It's the Pale Veloty Gore. You will be able to purchase the Pride King Lion starting the April 28th. And this very cute little Senshi Lion Cub. It's very cute. It really has nice cute little animation. I saw it on the BTS. And the shout out of this week goes to Deltia. Hey Deltia! So why Deltia? Everyone knows Deltia. I do not need a shout out, he's more famous than I. But Deltia has released the 4th April 2016, so in the same time that the anniversary of the Elder Scroll Online, is best build, and I need to share that with you. So it's not very clear if it's Templar, Nightblade, what class it is or what race it is, but we know that this build is extremely cute. So congratulations Deltia, a lot of hugs for you, for your wife, and for your little baby Maximus. I wish him a very long and happy life, full of success, peace and blessing on your family. So, that being said, on this happy note, I'm leaving you guys and I wish you a great week. Do not hesitate to make a lot of comments in my videos, to share it all around the webs, and to like it. Bye bye.